Hey, greetings everyone. GleeCon, I am back. We are in business again with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. Happy to be here and bring you some more lore content. On our last episode, we got carried through the final elite quests with our Dwarven Hunter, a quest set as kind of a trio of characters that are going through the same. We had done the beginning setup legwork on camera with a human paladin a couple episodes prior, and then we'll actually turn in those quests and kind of wrap up the zone and do some traveling to the next zone and talk about the fallout from some of that stuff in another couple episodes. We'll be visiting our horde characters in our long and thorough playthrough of Classic on our next episode. So check that out if you want to see some of those playthroughs. We have also been reading the final Dungeons and Dragons sourcebook material for a role-playing setting called World of Warcraft, the role-playing game. Technically non-canon, but it's kind of canon adjacent, and it does offer some insight. And it's been given the kind of blessing of Blizzard, or it was at the time that it was written. So we are reading Dark Factions, and it's the 7th chapter where it talks about the actual faction, so we've really slowed down and broken this down. Last time we read about the Black Dragonflight, and this time we're going to move on to the Bronze Dragonflight, so stay a while and listen. There's an unknown number of Bronze Dragons. I would say probably almost more so, well, I was going to say more so than any other Dragonflight, that was true, but the Green Dragonflight, considering so many dwell in the Emerald Dream, probably gives it a run for its money. They're lawful neutral. Yeah, I could see considering the Bronze Dragonflight to be neutral because they're most concerned with like preserving the timeways and stuff, and that often requires them to ensure that bad things happen, to say nothing of just like letting bad things happen. All right, so the Bronze Dragonflight is rarely seen outside Tanaris in Classic. That's of course way different now. The location of the Caverns of Time, where the bronze dragon aspect Nosdormu, the Timeless, resides. Recently, however, bronze dragons have been seen flying over Silithus. Bronze dragons are eternal watchers and guardians of time. I was surprised to find that anything could interfere with the proper flow of time. Nevertheless, bronze dragons make sure the wheels of the ages run smoothly all over the world, and probably where we least expect it. Chromie, the only bronze dragon I've been privileged to have a chance to sit down and talk to, is investigating distortions in time created by the Scourge. Seems like everyone has a bone to pick with the undead. I just hope the Bronze Flight sees us and decides to give us a hand. Now, there is so much that goes on with these disruptions to the timeways in the recent expansion. They're touching on that some more. I don't know. I feel like there's so much with the I don't know what they're called. I can't remember the ones. I'm having a hard time. The ones where they're an alternate evil version of Nosdormu and his other like evil Chromie and stuff like that. They come through the timeways and try to fight them. The something Dragonflight, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I'm not super familiar with all the backstory. I feel like I played all the expansions and somehow I missed some of those quests. And when we replay through everything, it'll be kind of interesting to read some of that. Even I know next to nothing about the Bronze Dragonflight. Of all the Dragonflights, the Bronze is the most naturally reclusive. Kingdoms rise and fall, and while the Bronze Dragons take notice and catalog those events, they rarely see a reason to interfere. Still, Anachronos seems to have directly aided a group of mortal adventurers in recreating the Scepter of the Shifting Sands. That's for the Silithus stuff, I believe. The Bronze Dragonflight opposes the Black Dragonflight and the works of the old gods, but otherwise it has little interest in Azeroth's affairs. I don't think that's true. I just think its interests are, as they said, keeping the time stream in order. They have a ton of interest. They're just constantly concerned with the big picture. Since they're not fixed in time, they can see that entire dimension. Bronze dragons are independent, even of each other. I don't know much about their hierarchy, but the only real known leadership figures are Nosdormu and one of his eldest children, Anachronos. Anachronos has recently returned to the Caverns of Time. In the meantime, rumor has it that the Cenarian Circle is hoping to get the Bronze Flight's help in the fighting going on in Anchorage. For some reason, though, Fandral Staghelm has yet to ask Anachronos for assistance. Because he's cray-cray at best, evil, at worst. The only place I know to find a large number of bronze dragons is the Caverns of Time. Some still guard the area near Mount Hyjal, but if the bronze dragons have any other areas where they meet or live, they aren't telling. Yeah, I'd say the Caverns of Time are their base. The Bronze Dragonflight has nothing to do with most mortal affairs, dedicating itself to preserving the time ways above all else. Bronze dragons have almost never worked with mortals. I've heard some rumors that 1,000 years ago, Archdruid, Fandral, Staghelm, and many other members of the Cenarian Circle worked with the Bronze Dragonflight against the Karaji, but something must have happened to alienate him from them. I don't have any details, however. Yeah, one of the we read a short story about that. It's on one of the playlists that we have, if you look through the short story playlist. Okay, their leaders are, of course, Nosdormu the Timeless, a male bronze dragon aspect. Nosdormu is the legendary dragon aspect of the Bronze Dragonflight. Empowered by the Titans, he is charged with ensuring the security of time. Nosdormu has not been seen since the Battle of Grim Batal, where he worked with 3 other dragon aspects to drive off Deathwing. We read about that in one of our previous novels on tape, or that we recorded. Anachronos, his son, the male bronze dragon. Anachronos is an ancient son of Nosdormu, and he was one of the 4 mighty dragons who created the Scarab Wall. He recently assisted a group of adventurers in creating the Scepter of the Shifting Sands to open the gates to Ahn'Qiraj. The Cenarian Circle hopes to work with Anachronos and the other bronze dragons against Cthulhu in Ahn'Qiraj, but they fear that Archdruid Staghelm's actions in the past may make doing so impossible. Now, as far as heroes within the Bronze Dragonflight, characters who are members or supporters of the Dragonflight also oppose the workings of the Twilight... I'm sorry, it's one long sentence. Are exceedingly rare. The Bronze Dragonflight also opposes the workings of the Twilight's Hammer, as well as the servants of the Burning Legion. That's it. They don't really give us anything. They're just like, this pretty much doesn't happen, but you could fight Twilight's Hammer or Burning Legion. I feel like they just wanted to squeeze it on this page, and they didn't care that, like, you're giving us nothing. Couple adventure hooks before we go. The Karaji attempt to create a magical barrier to trap the Bronze Dragonflight inside the Caverns of Time. Okay. And the dead Forgotten One in Ashenvale at the Master's Glide disappears overnight, leaving a gaping crater in the earth leading to a complex underground labyrinth. Yeah, those are weak. Like, why? They're definitely giving short shrift to the Bronze Dragonflight here, which I think is weird. They have the potential to be one of the most intriguing factions out there. But regardless of what you think about it, we have another episode of the Pipe 5x5. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching, for listening, and I look forward to seeing everyone next time on Lore of Warcraft.